So today I'm going to talk about various types of financial assistance that we have available. The most common type of financial aid that we have is what we call our indexed tuition. This is awarded annually. Every family must apply each year on FACTS, which is the outside vendor that we use to verify income information. And I will talk about that a little more in a minute. We do offer merit scholarships in our high school only. So if you possibly wouldn't qualify for regular financial aid, you can definitely apply for a merit scholarship on our website, and that will be found under morganparkacademy.org. Under our admissions page, there is another page called Tuition and Affordability, and you would go there, and that's where you would find the merit scholarship application. Those scholarships are typically not as large as our financial aid or index tuition awards. They're probably, $1,000 to $3,000 of aid there. Outside scholarship organizations. These organizations you need to get involved with during your child's middle school years. They are for high school. And so you want to get involved early enough so that you can apply with them and they can get to know your child through that application process. And then you would be awarded funds. Some organizations that we work with, which are also listed on our website, are Daniel Murphy, HFS Chicago Scholars. These are organizations that are going to ask you for the same type of information that we ask you for in the FACTS application, your W-2, your most recent 1040. So they will be verifying your income for need purposes. And then they're great organizations. They will pay on your behalf to the school directly anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000, $4,500 a year in scholarships. Neighborhood scholarships. So these are for schools in our surrounding Chicagoland area, and we do go as far as down to Forest Ridge in Indiana. These are half off our tuition for, if you have a student that is a high flyer, very strong academically, definitely talk to your principal at your school about, reaching out to our admissions team to get a scholarship offered to your school. Again, those are for very strong academic students, and those would be for high school. Tuition loans I do have listed here. Obviously, that's probably something you don't want to get involved in before you have to go to college because you're going to be taking out loans perhaps for college. But we have in the past gotten a few tuitions paid through Sallie Mae for kids' tuition. The next one I list is the Invest in Kids scholarships. These are scholarships that are granted through a program in the state of Illinois. Basically, people give money to scholarship granting organizations so that they can get a credit on their taxes. And you would go to the scholarship granting organizations and apply there. You will again have to submit income information through W-2s 1040, and they will verify your income. And if your child qualifies, you would be put on a wait list to get a scholarship to whatever school you choose. Now, these are big scholarships. They will, they could be $13,000, $14,000. So it's definitely worth it to try for it. The other bonus is that it's not just for high school students. This is for pretty much any grade level, K through 12. But the downside is that a lot of people are applying for these scholarships. So your chances of getting one are small, but it's worth it to just fill out the application. Two of the SGOs that we have worked with in the past are Empower Illinois and the Big Shoulders Fund. You could definitely see if there are other scholarship granting organizations that you're more familiar with, and contact them and apply there. You do have to identify Morgan Park Academy as the school you're choosing to go to. Let's see, the tuition payment plan. So we do offer several different tuition payment plans. Most commonly, our families do a monthly payment plan. Ideally, you start paying your monthly payment in June. You need to be done by May, so that would give you the most payments. That would give you 12 payments. You could also do quarterly payments, which would be June, September, December, March. Or you could do an annual payment. And if you do an annual payment, you will get a 5% discount by paying your tuition upfront. Sibling discounts, we do offer 10% discount for any siblings that apply. Okay, next slide, FAFSA application process. So FAFSA, the application is located under our admissions page on their website. Under tuition and affordability, there'll be a little link on the right-hand side of the screen that says FAFSA. There's a picture of a graduation cap, that's their logo. You would go there to apply. You can do this while you are doing the admissions process. There's a lot of forms that you're going to need to get to admissions. Recommendations, you're going to need to do testing, you'll need to do a shadow day, all of that. So while you're doing that, you should apply for FAFSA. Depending on what time of the school year you apply, it has to be after December because you're going to need your taxes. So depending on when you apply, that will dictate sort of how quickly FAFSA is able to process your information. Most people don't have their taxes done until February or March. So as soon as you have those and you have your W-2s, you will upload that information. Sometimes it's fine to upload your prior year tax return. If you don't have your current taxes done, that's totally fine. We'll be able to verify your income that way. Once they've done that, they will come up with an award for you. I will be logging into the FAFSA site on my end almost daily to see what those applications look like. We'll review your application. We'll make an award based on your FAFSA application, and then that award will be put on your contract on MyMPA. So that's why it's great if you already have your admissions process finished, because once your contract is issued on MyMPA, I can look and see if that name on the list is already done with the FAFSA process. We can put your award on there, and that way you'll be able to submit your contract right away instead of having to wait after you're offered admission, instead of having to wait and then do the financial aid application at that time. It'll just take a longer lag period. Okay, so this is our 2024-25 tuition and fees. You'll see that there is a range for each division. That range is just reflecting financial aid. So preschool through first grade, the full pay tuition is $15,300. If you get aid, you'll be more towards the $10,000 range. And that it goes for each division that we have listed there. The low end is on the left side and the full pay is on the right. We do go as high as 50% of tuition. So if you do have a situation that is not reflected on your FAFSA application and you need to have more aid, please give me a call. We can talk directly, or you can email me about your situation and we can definitely work with you. In your first year, as a new student, you will pay a $1,000 registration fee that will be on your contract. And then something to plan for grades 5 through 12 is Global Week. So those fees range from $350 all the way to $4,000, depending on what trip your student is going on. In the lower grades in 5th and 6th grade, they travel, more close to Chicago, and those trips can be $350, $500, something like that. Once you get up into high school, kids travel farther, so they can go domestically in the United States somewhere, or obviously, like as you see in this picture, these kids went to India. This past year, they were in Japan, they were in Puerto Rico, You know, in the past, they've gone, you know, done some college trips to California, New Orleans. They go all over. So those are things that you can plan for and budget for, but they won't be on your contract. They won't be something that you're going to pay for upfront, or, you know, or pay for with your fax fees. That's something that you're going to be paying a vendor for. Let's see, next slide. So some variable costs and operational fees. I've listed here, and again, there's a range because you can find uniforms, books, those kinds of things. You can definitely find them used, or at our back to school orientations. We do have uniforms available for, I say sale, but it's pretty much they're out there almost for free. And then you make a donation to our Parents Association for those. We have families that are constantly turning in uniforms that their kids have outgrown, and they're in great shape. So you can definitely find uniforms for very, very reasonable. Books, same sort of situation. We do have a Facebook group for books and uniforms for our families. So if you can talk to a family that's already been in the grade that you're going into, you can definitely get books at a more reasonable price. You will be able to buy books full price or used on our website for our books, which is called MBS. And as you get closer to the start of the school year, sometime in the summer, you'll have access to that back to school information on My MPA, and all of these things will be listed there and the ways to sign up for them. We do have a tech fee that is assessed on your fax account, depending on what grade your child is going into. There will be a tech fee. We do have field trips that will get billed to your fax account, and those costs vary. Typically, I would say, you know, $15, $20 for a field trip, depending on where they're going and the transportation that is required. Before and after care. So we do offer before and after care. We call it our ABC program. In the mornings, you can arrive as early as 7. And then in the afternoons, you can stay from 3 to 6 p.m. The cost for that is about $10 per hour, and that will get billed on your fax account. I listed middle school trips here. These are completely optional, so you do not need to, you know, plan for these or budget for them unless you want to. In the past, we've done language trips to Canada for our French speakers. We've done Panama. They've done Mexico for our Spanish speakers. Those, and again, we did language in the past. We've done non-language, just more sort of adventure trips to, you know, the Grand Canyon, or they went to Boston. So they have a bunch of different offerings each year. And again, optional, but those are really fun for the middle schoolers. Our lunch program, I put on here that it's $1,000 approximately for the year. That's really up to you. If you want to send your child with a lunch every day, you can absolutely do that. But we do have hot lunch available to purchase for our 2nd through 12th graders. And you basically would load their meals. It's called My Mealtime, and you would load their account with money, you know, as often as you want, weekly, monthly, however you want to do it. And then you can sort of monitor what they purchase, a drink, a lunch, a dessert, whatever you want. And you can contact our ladies in the lunchroom and let them know if you either want them to eat something in particular, or you don't want them to eat something in particular. You can communicate that with us so that, you know, we sort of monitor that. And then our pre-K through 1st graders do eat in their classroom still, so they will need to be sent with a lunch every day. We do have a transportation program right now. We only have service going to the Bronzeville Hyde Park area. It is about $3,000 a year to have round trip service if you only require a one-way service, we can absolutely accommodate that. If you are interested, again, all of these things will be listed on our back to school page on my MPA under the parent resources once your contract is in. So you can review all of this, and that's where you would register for transportation. Here is a slide showing you the average tuition paid after financial aid is received. This is just our typical amounts for the students that we have right now. Some students are paying less than this, some students are paying more. So this is sort of just gives you an idea of where most of the students are at. This slide is showing you what your monthly payment would look like. And this is based on if you were paying June through May, so you would have a full 12 payments. So you can kind of see for whatever division your child is going into, this is what you would look at as far as the 20% non-refundable deposit that you'll pay in your first year. In subsequent years, your deposit is 10% of the total, but in your first year, as we get to know you and your payment history, we do require a 20% non-refundable deposit. The $1,000 registration fee is included in that calculation, so that's not a separate fee. So please plan on a 20% deposit, and then your monthly payments would start, as soon after that. If you want to wait until September to start those monthly payments, that's completely fine. You have to be done by May. So you would just have 9 payments to make those over if you started in September. And then again, I do list the quarterlies there if you are interested in doing a quarterly payment instead.